Rawr.
angry about cats.
When did we all get this dumb? Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cats.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef. Come on, man. Use your brain. The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Why I'm Angry podcast, here in the Freestyle Man Cave studio. Today we have Lady D, Honest Abe, Peyton, and that Aaron the chef guy. This is your better than chef AI host. You know you guys really should replace that chef guy with me. I guarantee it really would get the show better ratings. I mean, think about it, we'll talk later. Okay, well, we couldn't be more excited to bring you our 50th episode. It's a milestone definitely worth celebrating, but it's also a chance for us to take a moment to tell you about what we have coming and how we are going to create more than just a podcast. Our 50th episode is a celebration of the incredible community we have built together, and what we have planned to create an even bigger community in the future. Yes, we'll also do some headlines or odd news or something. So, get ready for a roller coaster of laughter and that familiar sound of free thinking. Sit forward, listen in, and get your blood pressure meds out as we get to Why I'm Angry. Now.
Oh, man. The AI has taken over the Why I'm Angry podcast.
Oh no.
Whoops. Hit the wrong screen there. There we go.
That was super cute.
What's that?
That was super cute.
Yes, it's the 50th. We've got a 50th podcast, guys. We made it. I mean, still no one listens, but we made it.
We're there. We've ascended.
And there is Jay Boots. Jay Boots is here.
Surprise.
I put 4 of us on here for some reason and not Jay Boots.
Last one.
Made it. So guys, how's your week been?
Fantastic.
Real good.
Good. Good. So you made it.
Yeah.
There are those weeks that you it's like I said in the another podcast. Sometimes you get to church fighting and cussing, and that's how we got here.
Some of us go to church.
I've been meaning to go.
I've been meaning to. So there's been some big things with the 50th. We wanted to set up some new things on the podcast. We'll have some AI fun on the website. We've got a new website, which I'll kind of show you if you are watching. We've got this is the main page, and then you will be able to actually help and support us. We don't do this. I mean, we all kind of do this right now for free. So the more we can get the word out and things of that nature, the more that we can actually do. So you can kind of see this. You'll have an ads-free area. The press room is kind of the news that we're chomping on at this point. Tyson is bringing bugs to their food.
Mm-hmm.
And some different things like that. And then we'll also be able to get into our podcast notes where you'll be able to follow along with the articles that we're doing on the podcast at that moment, with the podcast. So some cool stuff back there. We've got some more things planned. Some more specials. We've actually got an interview with Honest Abe, at the bottom of the press room there, exclusive videos. So get in. There is a free version, and you can listen to ads and things like that. Get into our podcast right on our page. And then you're still going to get our podcast wherever you get podcasts. So, make sure you're still liking and sharing. Get our new merch. We've got a 50th episode t-shirt. We're going to do an update on the Fat Angry Bears, or Fat Bears. We got a t-shirt for that. That'll proceeds for that will actually go to the Alaskan Bears. So lots of cool stuff. And I just kind of wanted to get with you guys and the hosts here and see what you guys think. It's been 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Some of you have been here from the beginning. Actually, no, I'm the only one that's been here from the beginning. We did 2 tester episodes with my sister, who is no longer active with the podcast very much. So, but beyond those 2, Jay Boots, Abe's been around for most of the beginning. You know, Peyton's come on in the last few months here, and Lady D almost got 8 months on it now.
Wow.
Some things are going on. So, you guys that have been here from the beginning, what's you know, when you saw this in the beginning, did you think we would be here now?
Well, I hoped we would be here now. Because I have dreams of my own that involve this very podcast. So, I say hit the ground, hit the road. I don't know. Let's keep going. Let's take this show on the road. I don't know what do you say, Abe?
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. It's been an interesting evolution of how our lives have gone too. Just kind of it's kind of progressed in its own little cool way, and it's been cool. It's been cool to see it kind of evolve and transform and change and bring in some new people and that sort of thing. So it's been fun being able to crack up and just have some good conversation and talk about how screwed up the world is.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, Lady D, you've been around a little while now.
Mm-hmm.
When we first offered you, like when we first said, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast?" Did you think we were joking?
No.
Okay. What are your thoughts now that you've been on the podcast? What are your thoughts of being on with a room of white guys? I'm just address it. I'm straight on it. I'm just gonna address it.
Pretty fine for a
Well,
white guy.
I identify
well,
as Irish, so
I think that you are some pretty intelligent white guys. You definitely challenge me to think outside the box, depending on the circumstances and the conversation, for sure. But I always knew that regardless of how it started, you were going to end up here. So I'm just grateful and thankful to be a part of the platform, as I always tell you.
Hey, we appreciate it, and you've been a good sport. There's a lot of people that we've gotten on that you couldn't argue with, or that we could have gotten to get on that wouldn't be able to handle kind of the testosterone in the room, or the the argumentativeness, or the debate. So I appreciate your willingness to stand in the fire. So,
Absolutely.
Peyton, it's been a short ride, but
Yeah,
what do you think?
hasn't been very long.
No.
So far from what I've experienced is a good time. It's you guys are real accommodating. You let me into the conversation. You take me seriously, and I do appreciate that check you sent me last week.
That's
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What
I have
check?
questions.
no. If it was for less than a penny.
Oh, okay.
or it was
Sure.
that check from the Nigerians.
the deposed king of Nigeria.
The deposed king of Nigeria
The
needs
prince.
you to
You didn't send a money order to the prince to get the check, did you?
That's right.
No, but I plan on hanging around a little bit, and I love the laughs. So
Yeah. So with that, obviously, we're going to continue to push the podcast. We're definitely going to continue to be on once a week at least. I'm planning on trying to get on some in the mornings or something like that. Try to do either a daily or a couple of times a week type thing, where we just do like a little early morning type news wake up type thing. So there's plenty of stuff that is going to happen. So we just, like I said, we need the funds, we need the support, we need your follow, likes, and shares, all that kind of good stuff. So
For sure.
so headlines.
Here we go.
Here it is. And Lady D has to go early tonight, so if you don't hear Lady D in a little bit, that's because she got to get up tomorrow for a job.
Facts.
We'll miss you. But just kick out whenever you need to.
Make
All
us
right,
all
so
sound unemployed.
What's that?
Did you make us all sound unemployed?
Well, you know,
He has
mean,
a job.
we all have jobs. Some of us less than others. Some of us are in recovery mode at the moment. You know, I kind of pick whenever I want to work. So,
Like
you
right
know.
now.
Oh yeah, I mean we're all.
He's working right now.
So, all right. So California is going to release millions of sterile insects marked with purple dye.
Let's go.
I mean, I've never seen that go bad before. I mean, have you? Maybe like the state of Ohio now has coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not actually natural to Ohio.
Right.
So now there's more coyotes than deer. And that's what they were there out there to.
So we train the deer to kill the coyotes.
Right. I mean, we've given them rifles, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen them hunting hunters, right?
That Ruger makes that 308.
Which you can't hunt with in Ohio.
So yeah. So I mean, it's gotten to the point where in Ohio, coyotes, there is no season. You just go out there and shoot coyotes.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like shooting across the road to shoot your coyotes and stuff, just go on out, shoot them up.
Yeah, like at a daycare or something, that would be inappropriate.
I think it's $30 a pelt. I want to say.
Oh, can you get now? You can get some now still, because I know back like 4 or 5 years ago you weren't getting anything for them, so they just.
Who do you turn them into?
There's an auction, so like I don't know,
Coats, hats,
3 or 4 times a year.
What do you turn them into? not what? Who?
Burlington Coat Factory.
I just said what? So
It's not called Burlington Coat Factory anymore. It's just Burlington.
say what you mean, Jay.
I can turn them up.
I know the pelt industry like kind of took a crap. It was probably like it had to have been probably 15, 20 years ago now, where they a lot of people used to hunt raccoons and everything else for the pelts. You don't really eat raccoon, so
Well, you don't, but
I mean, some people will, but it's not it's kind of gamey. It's not the most tasteful thing. So it's interesting that they're actually giving money for the pelts again. I'd have to look at the market to see what it looks like now in comparison to when we were kids,
I mean, I think even when we were kids, you could get anywhere from 15 to like 30, $35 for a pelt for a raccoon even. But I mean that, at one point they were subsidizing it with the Ohio government, and Ohio natural resources were trying to take care of some of the issues with raccoons and things. But so yeah, they're in California. The Department of Food and Agriculture plans to release millions of insects with purple dye into a Los Angeles neighborhood.
For what purpose, sir?
So here it is. Here's where it gets paralleled, and I will go into what I think is really happening. But they're introducing sterile males into the population so that the females will mate with the sterile males, and the eggs will then be infertile. And so then it will kill off the population. It sounds real similar to getting the jab and then it makes you infertile, and then can't fertilize and then the population goes away. Like it
What is the
seems
jab?
the jab would be that
It's just a little bit of amoxicillin. It's fine. It's fine.
It's the vaccine for COVID. I mean, honestly, I mean with the strain, with what the RNA strain does. A lot of times it's a protein strain, and it attacks your
Spike
proteins, the
protein,
spike proteins,
Yeah.
and that can make you infertile. It can make anybody infertile: women, men, rats,
Have you noticed
chinchillas.
Have you noticed the babies being born with deformities rate is going up since the almighty 2020?
You need to talk about.
And they've also talked about like Down syndrome and so forth.
Yeah, that's on the rise.
Yeah, having a spike after the COVID shots were kind of enforced in the way that they were and stuff too. There's a lot of untested things that are now coming out to light a little bit. So
Hey,
I believe it. I don't
all you gotta
understand.
do,
So what
Abe,
kind of
is
insurance
trust the
are they talking
plan.
about, though?
Okay, don't have a brain. Just trust the plan.
So yeah, so this is the plan for the bugs. It's a fruit fly. Mediterranean fruit fly has kind of, I guess it's gotten the med flies have gotten big over there, and they've kind of overpopulated. It's become a swarm, and so they get them. And because it doesn't get cold like it does here, they don't ever
keep
die.
living,
Yeah.
yeah.
They just continue to reproduce and live, and so they
Don't we
actually
get all of
start.
our fruit from California and Georgia and
Yeah,
Florida?
That's where I get
yeah.
my wine from.
Well, true that too. So yeah, I mean, so they can help with the pollination and stuff, but they're not nice in LA neighborhoods, and people are just they're verklempt. So there's an infestation. So they're going to, over a 9 square mile area, put about 250,000 sterile med flies or fruit flies in each square mile. So it's about 2.2 million med fly or fruit flies, and I don't see how this could be bad.
I see this being a problem. I do see it bad.
Didn't
But
oh boy.
So okay, so I get the concept. However, I think it's going to be really crappy for like 6 months at least. Like,
Oh
are
yeah, I
they
mean
trying to
now
keep
you'll have
people inside? I mean, are they? You know what I
an
mean?
extra two and a
Like,
half million fruit flies in.
It's gonna look like my
because they
kitchen.
still bite. Like, you can still get bit. Individuals and stuff can still get bit. You know, so it's not going to be
Yeah,
pleasant for the
I think they're
individual.
it's more just invasive. Yeah, I don't know if they really bite, but I know they.
Yeah, they just annoy the politicians.
Yeah, they're just annoying mainly.
Didn't we
But
try this with honeysuckle?
We also did this with love bugs in
good.
New Orleans, and I'll tell you, in August you can pretty much, you'll have to wash your car after you drive a mile and a half, because the love
Yeah, it's
bugs are like everywhere. Like, I mean, we were there right after Katrina, and I was like sawing trees and love bugs at the same time. I mean, it was that thick. It was just, they were everywhere.
You were getting a 2-for-1 deal.
I was getting a 2-for-1 deal and my protein on top of that. So, it was almost like I had to wear a mask to separate the bugs from actual air.
Dust.
Yeah, these guys know what they're doing. You don't understand.
Yeah.
So what's the
just
science though
trust the
behind
plan.
confirming that they're all infertile?
It's the blue dye. The purple dye, I mean, means that they're infertile, I'm sure.
I don't understand
How do they confirm that they're sterile? Do they test out
By
these fruit flies before they release
by
them? I
having
mean,
sex with them.
like you could. That's what I'm
Like-
curious. How are they generating sterile
They all-
flies at this point?
All they do.
I don't know. Maybe that's a dumb question. I'm just saying.
No,
I
it's
have
not a
questions.
dumb
no,
It's not a dumb question. Here's the answer. They just deprive them of lysine and they stop breeding.
but they need them to breed, or they don't infertilize the eggs.
No, the males are lysine deficient and therefore they can't reproduce. The core batch that they did.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what John Hammond and InGen did with the dinosaurs. Hello, Jurassic Park is based on real info.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot more true than
He
I
went
thought it
there. I'm not surprised he went there, but he went there.
he went there.
But it is Hollywood after all.
It is Hollywood, but
call up Steven Spielberg, get the recipe.
I mean, Spielberg seems to be like he creates movies that are real. I mean, like
Right.
E.T., real.
He wanted to go home.
Those ETs are on Star Wars.
He wanted to make a phone call.
Oh yeah, for you guys that wanted to know, a quality coyote pelt
Quality coyote pelt.
sold at auction in March of 2023 for $27 each. If it was damaged, it was $6.
Well, that's about right though. I mean, if you think about it, collectability.
Collectability.
Yeah, collectability. If you have something that's perfect, it's about 90% more valuable
Right.
than the one that's
Right.
like just barely damaged. So
Did you keep it in the box?
Yeah, Bobcat was $60. So
you know that there's not supposed to be bobcats in Ohio, or no, they're
Yeah.
mountain lions.
Southeast.
they denied it for a long
Southeast.
time.
Yeah.
Bobcats.
I was just reading about invasive plant species, but yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah. They also did this in Florida with the nutria.
So how much can you harvest an invasive plant species and so forth?
Hopefully, big money.
Hopefully.
Well, I
Yeah.
found this weed in my backyard.
Hey, we're voting on whether that's going to be legal to have that weed in your backyard here in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's legal up here, so.
Well, there you go.
I already voted.
I can't believe you.
Thank you.
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't care either.
I started. Do it. Come on, get into it.
No, I mean, I really don't. I'm not a
What if you change your mind?
early voter type guy, but
What if they decide that weed will cure
Oh,
cancer?
All of a sudden, the
Your
Earth's going to be
opposite
round.
vote.
what if all of a sudden abortion feels right, and I want to change my
Wait, hold
vote to
on.
protect it?
The Earth is round? Are you sure?
Oh,
we
man.
did talk about doing a full conspiracy.
we are still going to do. We are going to do a few of those very shortly.
Yeah.
That's
You
on the docket.
you better
to be-
share or save like a 3-hour window for this because
Everyone
the amount
needs-
of rabbit holes go down
Everyone
already.
needs to get in and get into the paywall side of things because the conspiracy theory side of this podcast is going to open soon, and
It's gonna be
that's going to
golden.
be one of the those are going to be exclusive videos, exclusive podcasts. I'm pretty sure.
We're gonna be buying
Yeah,
a
you
lot.
better have your popcorn ready.
Yes, there will be aluminum foil bots.
I would like to start with JFK.
Lady D, it's gonna get weird.
You are right.
We need you though. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. We love you.
She's like, well, tonight you're on your own. And the
It's been
conspiracy
real.
theory
It's been
told
fun.
you might be
It
on
hasn't
your
been
own.
real fun.
Lady, do you subscribe to any conspiracy theories?
No.
All right, moving on.
Not that she's going to admit to on
I don't.
on a
No.
on a multinational podcast because
Right.
we actually have about 30 or 40 followers in France and about a handful in South Africa and some in the Philippines.
But none in Botswana.
None in the U.S. but
Did you buy
about
these?
half of
Did you
our
buy these
followers are in the
subscribers?
U.S. and then the rest, for some reason, are multinational. Yeah, it's been weird.
That's
So,
sweet. Let's
but
keep it
yeah,
going.
let's just. I don't know of any in
Shame about
Israel
Canada.
or Pakistan or Palestine or Iran. Those guys probably just ran away.
They rode off.
Yeah, I mean, I
We
don't know if you
we
remember
also
this, but
killed
we
off
did.
Canada. Yeah, I don't think we got anybody in Canada.
Yeah, we nixed
now, so.
Canada. We nixed
I don't.
China now.
I'm not even sure that
we nixed a
that
bunch
our podcast is allowed in Canada. So
the last like month and a half or so, we've nixed a lot of countries.
a
Not
lot of
on
countries.
purpose. Just
No, I mean it
innocent
has. It's been
bystanders,
All
you know.
accidents.
it's been
Designed to be an accident.
designed accidents. So they say they say that it will be a mild fire season, and we've had a mild fire season so far. Mild is only 50 miles of southern or of southeast Los Angeles, which is not the same area that has the issue with
The bugs.
the bugs. They should probably think about their lives.
Yeah.
If they've got a plague
What if
of
there's a
fruit
strong
flies,
wind?
they have fire
Scorched earth.
in like they might, yeah, they may be, God may hate them.
So this is only South California?
This
Southern
is
California?
Southeast California.
Okay.
Is the deal with the fire.
So we're protecting the
Far.
San Fernando Valley.
Well, yeah, but I
Okay.
think they're the ones. Yeah, they're the ones with the
bug.
fruit flies.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I just had
Not anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Are they gonna be like cicadas?
Cicada.
Is what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking of.
gonna be it's similar to cicadas. It's probably not even as bad as cicadas. Cicadas were rough. Like I went out to mow and they're like all over me, like just flying. Like
This what I'm
no, this
picturing.
is when they came
it
out.
was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago when I first. Yeah, it was like
Like you needed a
It's the
tennis
seventh year.
racket.
Like I got one of those things like the guys that at Chick-fil-A, the little huts that they can get in when it rains.
tent.
And I just throw the tent.
Yeah, those were
The
sweet.
walking tents. I got one of those and I
I
drove
thought
my
those
lawnmower
were
around.
COVID huts.
Yeah, well, I
didn't realize
used
they
them
were
for
purpose.
cicadas. It was definitely
Incubation huts for the vid.
it was come in and get some of my vid.
We got the vid.
Oh yeah.
We got the vid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they said it's a mild year this year. There's also been about 30 inches of rain and snow in the state of California. I mean they have had about 300,000 acres burnt in the state so far this year, but it's still mild.
That's not bad.
There's not any acreage left or that much.
Yeah,
acreage
I mean
left.
there's no non-owned burnt acres left, but
It's got to be pretty wild. At one point in my life, I thought it'd be pretty cool to live out there before I knew what like politics were and stuff.
Right.
The legal side of things, But it's got to be pretty wild, like dealing with all of these. Like it's literally like testing grounds for everything else in the U.S. Like, I mean, let's go ahead and reintroduce these bugs, sterile bugs. let's, you got like everything spreads from the west to east, as far as like that kind of stuff, and it's always so weird, And then you got to worry about fires, you got to worry about droughts, you got to worry about earthquakes, etc., etc. It's got to be pretty wild. Like, do you live there your whole life and never experience what like our normal Midwestern life looks like?
None of that is. Yeah, I mean, you've got hurricanes, you've got wildfires, you've got bugs now, you've got earthquakes. I mean,
What else do they need?
like literally, like if your house is still standing, it's probably like rated to stand forever. Either that or you're in a trailer park and it's just mobile enough that it bounces around with everything.
Should we send tornadoes over to California?
I mean, we could.
That would be the thing that would
that is like the one thing that they really don't have to fight.
Yeah.
So we might as well like just
Did they have a hurricane like a couple months ago?
And most of California,
Beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
most of California doesn't have to deal with snow unless you get to like Lake Tahoe and like Northern California.
Right, northern side. But then you also have the you have the that desert.
Never heard of it.
Death Valley.
Death Valley
That
is
desert.
yeah. All of a sudden I'm like that I
That
couldn't think, all I
desert.
could think was dead. And I'm like, Carson City's out there. But yeah, Death Valley. So you're not like, you go from like Death Valley to the north side of things is all like the nicest, biggest trees in the world, and you get some snow and rain, and yeah, I mean, just like, and then you get down, you then you have the desert, and then you get down in like San Diego and that, and it's more like tropical, and yeah, so California's got it going on. Just you don't want to go there because you won't be able to do anything because you'll not have any money.
Yeah.
Because of the taxes.
I always thought about
Right.
transplanting.
I think the
oaks.
northern part of California, just from my
Redwoods.
experience with working and out there a bunch, I used to go out there quite a bit. And the northern part of California, where you can't afford to live, would
Right.
be where I would live. That's where.
Right. I mean, it was like like to walk on the bridge in San Francisco. It like that. It's the Golden Gate Bridge. That's not
That
in
bridge.
New York City, but to walk on the bridge in San Francisco, that bridge, like it was huge. Like, yeah, and it was cool, and it was beautiful to see out and the sound and stuff. But if you turned around, then you had to look at San Francisco, and then you're like, oh.
I heard that was a trash dump.
But I mean, the wharf is cool.
Well, if you look at it closely,
yeah,
the
wharf
like
is
down the
cool.
street.
But if you stay in the the touristy areas, you're all right for the most part.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's a lot of free camping.
We've now nixed California. If we hadn't already, so we've now.
We haven't.
Anybody listening to California is.
We haven't told them to like have an earthquake and fall off the world and die or anything. I mean, geez.
Just saying, San Francisco hates you now. Parts of LA hates you now.
Parts of LA, San Francisco. That's all right. I don't have to go back.
We still have San Jose.
I did the sourdough thing. I didn't go on the turniest road in America, but that's all right. I'm probably wrecked my car.
Fair shake there. Have you ever been to California?
Yeah, a couple times.
Do you regret it?
Yeah. I'm taking that back.
I can't get that time back. Okay.
What about you, Lady D? You ever been out there?
For the record, I absolutely love LA. So I cannot wait till I can get back. I enjoy
like the whole
everything about
city?
it. The whole city.
Really?
LA.
Do you like
Yes.
traffic? You like sitting in your car?
How about the homeless? Did
Santa
you like
Monica
them?
Beach, all of that. Love
The
it.
free camping.
What about
It's not homeless. It's free camping. All
Lady
free
D?
I would
campers.
say like Huntington Beach is really cool. I did like Huntington Beach. I will correct myself on that one. Huntington Beach is pretty cool.
I will tell you, LA has the best In and Out.
Period.
Yeah,
that's why I love.
It's the only good In and Out.
She's like, actually, let me correct myself.
Oh,
That's
really?
the reason I like it, because In and Out.
Aside from that, yes, I do In-N-Out.
That In and Out, I will eat at like the nicest ramen restaurant.
Yeah.
And then I'll still eat at an In and Out like 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
Which I literally did. I literally did when I was in LA.
I lived between a Whataburger and an In and Out when I was in Phoenix, and then there was a Chipotle that made the trifecta.
Yeah. I still miss Filiberto's.
Yeah.
Filiberto's in
Filiberto's.
Arizona, in Phoenix. Filiberto's.
Hey, Lady D, have you ever done the shopping on Rodeo Drive?
I have gone to Rodeo Drive. Actually, I went to LA back in 2020.
During the vid?
Yeah.
Man. It was still
That was
open?
probably the best time. All the crazy.
There was no one out.
It was literally, it was wonderful. It was perfect timing. But yeah, no, I've been to Rodeo Drive.
That's
I've
why
been
you
to
like
Snacks
it. There
and
wasn't
all
the
the
traffic.
springs. Yeah, most likely. I mean, I went to the dispensary. Shout out to the people over there. I don't know the name of the street, but it's one of the popular dispensaries there. It's not the cookies one. It's another one.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway,
I don't know. No, I mean,
um,
I think it has its parts, probably like any other city, but LA is kind of interesting. I definitely liked LA better than I liked San Francisco.
I
That's
want
just
to go
my
to San
opinion.
Francisco.
It's cool to
Yeah,
see from a distance.
yeah. San Francisco was okay, but I was only there like I was only out in the public for like a couple days. So, a couple times. So, I mean, I was there for a couple weeks at a time each time, but it was just like I was in a building, a smelly building, like the Cow Palace in San Francisco. If you ever have a chance to see a concert there, don't. Just go somewhere else. Anywhere. I mean, you could go to a fairgrounds in Ohio, it would be better. And it would smell better too. So it
Whoa.
smelled like dirty, like sweat feet. Which, if you're in the industry that I was in, going to sport card shows, so they're not anybody that actually can be a part of the sporting event themselves, because most of us are overweight and we haven't worked out in a while. I mean, there were a few guys. I mean, there's a lineman, an ex lineman from the Texans that used to buy a bunch of stuff. Actually ended up, I guess he sold enough stuff that he bought his wife a dream house with his card collection. But beyond that guy, the only athletes are either ex athletes that are signing autographs at those events, or there's a few guys that still are playing that can pop in. But it does smell like sweaty feet to begin with, and that's just added to it.
That's just not good for me.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
don't
that's
go
kind
there.
of that's kind of San Francisco streets though too. I used to go out to
Yeah.
like northern San Jose and southern San Francisco. You know, the whole Bay Area in general.
Yeah.
I used to be out there for months at a time, and we would go up to San Francisco when new people were coming in. You know, that hadn't really been
Right.
there, and they'd be
Right.
like, "Oh, let's go check out San Fran, and like let's go to dinner and this and that." We get there, and they'd be like, "Oh, wow, it's like this, huh?" There's literally
It's
human feces, and there's needles, and all kinds of stuff on this, on the streets, and you see people camped out like on the
yeah,
street side, and
free
sidewalks and
camping.
everything else. It's wild. It's real wild.
Yeah, it
I definitely liked LA better than San Francisco, but
what's crazy about like even the Cow Palace and that area, it used like it had the Beatles. Like the Beatles came there. It's had the Rolling Stones. Like it's an iconic venue. It's just
Old.
the same as it was back in the 70s. Like it's still the same. It just they haven't done anything to it. But yeah, so anyhow.
Now,
That's-
I have it on good authority that you enjoyed SeaWorld when you were in San Diego.
No, I've never been to San Diego.
Oh, okay.
I've been to LA and Vallejo.
Okay.
To
Okay.
in Napa Valley.
So someone at work is lying.
San Diego's actually pretty cool. I like San Diego. It's more laid back.
Yeah.
I've only been there once.
I've been to Fresno and San Bernardino.
One of these days we're gonna have to do like a travel episode, like where everybody's been. Jay Boots, I know, is thrown up in the back stairs of a Scranton, Pennsylvania
The Holiday Inn Express.
Holiday Inn Express. Don't go there.
Wow.
The greatest Scranton Wilkes-Barre
We
area.
probably spent over our careers about a month and a half in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's fair.
The worst month and a half of our lives, probably. But
Now, did you see Joe Biden? Because
That's where he's from.
he says that all the time.
I shook his hand before he's president.
obviously, before he was, president or
Fake
vice
president, or whatever he is.
pseudo
Pseudo
president.
pres.
So, yeah.
Nothing. Really?
So this is the time where if you're on Facebook or
See you. Bye.
YouTube,
Get out.
peace, my friends. Peace.
Deuces.
So yeah, so we're going to get into actual articles again, I guess.
Why would we do that? Get back on
I
track.
needed that
Before
vent. I needed to get that off my chest here.
Let's get into these articles.
So yeah, the Disney is doing the full takeover of Hulu finally, which
We kind of knew.
who's surprised about that? I mean, like I thought Disney had already done it. I didn't realize they were waiting on something. But they're paying Comcast $8.6 billion. I'm not sure why nobody's is like all up in arms about them having a monopoly or anything, but you know,
Yeah, there's like a whole big deal about that. I remember when we were kids. Well, when I was a kid, I remember there was a whole big deal about. There was a few broadcasting channels and stuff coming together, and I think it was when ABC. It was before ESPN and ABC came together, along with Disney, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, but at one point there was a big thing going together, and they were talking about a monopoly and how there was a couple of different broadcasting channels, pretty up in arms about it. And that's
yeah, that was
been probably
Comcast
15,
and
20 years ago
Volcom,
now.
and I think Universal or something like that was all going to come together at one point, and
Yeah.
they nixed that. That was like at that time it was crazy. It was like a $3 billion deal, and now we're
Yeah.
just throwing billions of dollars at whatever we want.
Right.
Hmm.
What's changed in the last 20, 25 years to now all of a sudden, hey, we're going to buy Hulu. We're going to, because Disney technically owns ABC, ESPN,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right?
Streamings was different now.
Yeah, streaming is what's different. I mean, you got giant billion-dollar corporations now with Netflix, and everybody's got their streaming site with Peacock and NBC and all of that. But yeah, I do kind of wonder how they fly under the radar on this, because they have their own streaming. They have the rights with Marvel and Disney and the Star Wars and all. They've kind of taken over all of that. But I think with as big as Discovery is, and that kind of thing, I think they kind of are able to slide a little, or they just own everything, and we just don't have a vote.
Well,
One of the two.
I was just starting to like Hulu too.
as
Some
long as
dropping
there's a
that.
Democrat in the office, they'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
DeSantis will nix it.
DeSantis would chop it in a
Shut up,
second.
man.
He's probably trying to chop it
Make
right
it
now from
regulate.
Florida.
Writing it
But
up
he's
as
like,
he
no,
speaks.
I don't want Comcast in Florida. Exit.
He's a problem.
X
We gotta
gonna
get
give it
rid
to
of
you.
him. Get him out of there.
Chop, Mickey.
Mickey.
Right between the ears.
No, Misa. Misa called Jar Jar
Uh,
Binks.
Man.
It's
Now
a good
we
thing we're not on Facebook
now we
anymore.
lost all of the Star Wars people.
Isn't Facebook owned by the same people too? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know.
Luckily, we killed it all. We killed off the podcast and
That's
on
why
Facebook
that's why
before
I said
they.
it's good we're not on Facebook anymore.
Man, saved us. That's the real reason I kick us off of Facebook. They can't deal with the back half of the podcast. That's where the real.
All right,
real
bring
stuff
out
gets done.
Jaja.
Yes. Here he is.
Oh man. So we've got a bunch of old actors and stuff dying over the last week. Perry died from Friends.
Yeah, Chandler Perry.
Chandler Bing.
Chandler Bing. That's right.
Tyler Christopher
Way to ease
from
into it, Aaron.
what's that?
I said, way to ease into it there.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm just ripping off
we got a bunch
band-aids.
of old
and-
actors.
I mean,
dying
we were
off and stuff.
we were smashing Mickey just a second ago, so I
Dying.
felt like it was a good segue. So
It's like, well, go
we lost
down?
Tyler Christopher. I guess he was on Daytime General Hospital. He died at 50.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Yeah, I don't know what his role was. He was a starring role on General Hospital.
Huh.
Did you watch it as a kid,
No, I
or as
didn't.
a parent, or
That's why I don't know the guy.
as a
Do you watch
as an
reruns as an
older
adult?
gentleman? I mean,
Hey,
I
called
don't.
you older, Jim.
I don't know how old you actually are. You could be younger than me.
25.
you could be definitely younger than me.
He's 50.
like,
And
we
then
didn't know the whole time. Are you 65? He
why
looked really
haven't you
good
been
for
getting us to
65,
see
by
the
the way.
touchdown?
We're going to
Golden
start this
Buckeye,
rumor
let's
that
go.
he's 65.
Knock on my golden Buckeye.
Uh, and then Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight is yes.
Not an actor.
So no more getting ranted at. No more chairs being thrown at you.
Yeah, the last of the old school.
The last, I think the last one I think is Lou Holtz.
Bobby Huggins is still out there.
Okay, Huggins, yeah. So there's a couple, but
Did
he have a drinking problem?
I was
Bobby
talking.
Knight.
I was talking about this.
I mean that was that was when you could drink and coach a team at the same time.
That's when the team went in at halftime.
But could
drank
you-
a beer, went back out?
Gotcha.
Could you
Cigarette and a
really?
beer,
I
that's
mean,
what it was.
I think technically it was still frowned upon. However, I don't think they watched it as much.
I mean, if
I
it
was
was
talking
frowned
about this,
upon, it was
though.
more frowned at than upon.
Yeah. I was talking about this topic today about the coaches and stuff, and they were showing highlights and stuff from Bobby Knight, like throwing chairs and like headbutting his players and all kinds of all the finest moments of Indiana basketball, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about that today, and the other guy I was talking to with he's a big sports guy, and we were like, man, could you imagine that now? Like,
Yeah.
he would have been gone so fast. But back then, I mean, we're talking about the '90s and stuff, '80s, '90s, when he was doing all
Right.
this stuff, and I remember seeing highlights, and I'm like, man, this guy is a character, But to think about how crazy things are now, I couldn't imagine.
Like in the
how quickly
90s,
he'd be canceled.
he almost got away with throwing a chair at he had a job after, he coached
They showed
at
a
one
highlight
more
today
school
of
after
him chucking the
Indiana,
chair
after he got fired. Like now, if
Yeah.
you threw a chair at like the students or the fans across you might get an assault charge.
Yeah.
You might,
Yeah.
you might go to jail.
The video footage they showed today on ESPN was all, like I
Of
said,
him
all the finest moments. None
Right.
of the championships and stuff that he was was a
Right.
part of, or that
I
kind
mean,
of stuff. But
he
it was
he
all the
honestly,
like headbutting the players and shoving
Right.
them and stuff like that, getting in their faces, that kind of stuff. That's what I remember of Bobby Knight.
Right. But that's like if you go back and you're like, oh yeah, Indiana is a storied program for basketball. No, it's a Bobby Knight was the story for they weren't any good. They weren't that great before.
No.
I mean, they had a few good years and stuff, but they didn't have multiple championships like they did.
Yeah,
with,
it's not like
with
Duke
Bobby
or
Knight.
Kentucky.
Right.
I don't know. I've seen the movie Hoosiers. And
I'm pretty sure that was before Bobby Knight.
Based on all facts.
That was all facts.
Don't you remember seeing Pistol Pete? Wait, what?
Yeah, and why couldn't Bobby Knight get him on the team? No.
I mean, he didn't want his arm broken or something.
I mean, he went straight to the NBA, so it could be
I
why.
want to be abused before I get to the NBA. Sure, sign me up.
I mean, it's kind of like Woody, punched a player and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
we were just talking.
I
yeah,
mean,
we
the
talked
whole
about that.
no, that's not how it went.
he
Oh.
did punch a player, did he not?
The kid was a
Now we got the
millennial.
Buckeye here.
He didn't even coach in the millennial era. But that was coaching back then. Like you used to
way I
hit your
remember
players,
it.
you pushed them around. If you had you'd throw a helmet on and headbutt each other and stuff. That was how that was the atmosphere of it.
It was a good day when the coach grabbed you by the face mask and dragged you around the field.
Right.
Right. You're doing all right.
You definitely got
That was the
noticed
term
that
of
day.
endearment back then.
Oh
Just
man,
meant you needed to try a little harder.
That was the true attaboy.
that was it. So yeah, definitely, you know, and it does make me kind of. It is kind of one of those like Bobby Knight dies. You know that the guard is being because they were talking even today on the McAfee show that about how McDaniels, who just got fired
Yeah,
from L.A., how he was just a
yeah.
jerk. And I'm like, I didn't ever see him throw a chair, punch a guy, nothing. Like he couldn't have been that big of a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think everybody's just way too sensitive.
Yeah.
I've been thinking that for
Well,
years.
it's definitely changed. I mean, it's definitely a
Right.
different.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a different era of not just coaching, but society in general.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Even boot
Yeah.
camp's been watered down.
Well, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Duke's been struggling too.
Duke, yeah.
They just
Now that
signed
they,
one of the top prospects in the
yeah, they
U.S.
did
though.
get that forward
Yep.
6'12" or
Just got
something
to
like
shove
that.
him around a little bit. He'll be top notch.
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't have Coach K anymore, so he's not getting shoved or anything. He's
Right.
just,
Right.
Are we letting the 20-year-olds defend this country?
Yeah, I mean, we're letting 18-year-olds.
It's pretty wild to see that
Is that what
now,
they're
right?
called?
The Zennial, yeah,
We're trusting the Zennials
the
to.
Zennials.
Are we trusting the
Zennial.
Zennials to do our security stuff for this country?
Pretty much.
Cool.
We're giving them guns. Whether they carry them or not, you just never know. But
Like they have real bullets, I think.
they've got fake bullets.
They don't have. It's just for show.
Pew pew.
They got pew pews instead of real guns.
They have little flashing
The-
lights and stuff.
The big flash bang out of the gun barrel, that just scares me. That's just too much for me. I need
Noise.
something that goes more like pew pew.
We'll add that in
Yeah.
there.
Like high frequency rings and stuff.
Right.
Just need loud noises and flashy lights.
That'll scare them.
That's it.
How did we get here? We were talking about Matthew Perry.
We talked about Bobby Knight, which I feel like we should talk more about his death than Matthew Perry and Tyler Christopher.
Were you a
I mean, I
big
feel like
Friends
he at
fan?
least.
So I would like to get your thoughts on how Matthew Perry died.
So I haven't clicked on how he actually died. I've heard my first thought was it a drug overdose? Because and then the second thought is it's probably the vaccination.
He was pushing it big time.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was a fourth generation
He
vaxxer.
was so full of the vax.
Yeah, he would get one every week.
It was leaking out his ears.
So
Better watch out.
have they
Kelsey's
actually said like how he died? It was a heart attack or
I think it's sealed. It did come out, but it's sealed.
All the
Yeah, okay.
all the reports that I read was that it was produced for the department, but it wasn't made public.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm concerned. I mean, if it could have been a medical complication, but they were saying that it could have been 16 other things, right?
Right. I mean, he probably was actually, drowned in his bathtub by, the Hillary Foundation. But
All right.
no,
Yep.
no, that was too much.
I think that's the Clinton Global Initiative.
That's
Great. Now Hillary's not going to listen.
now Hillary's pissed off.
Pissed in somebody's Cheerios.
I figured we were already on that list, so might as well.
Oh, we've been done on that list. I remember a few
for a while.
podcasts ago I mentioned them, and I also put in a disclaimer. In the fine print, please don't kill me.
Please don't.
But I haven't. Do you think they're actually going to release it for Matthew Perry, or they don't want to tarnish? Is that like a family?
Even if it's drugs, or if it was just a medical issue, they're not going to release it. There's no way.
They want his image to be squeaky clean because he was a star from one of the most famous sitcoms, Friends, and therefore he has to remain squeaky clean.
Since when is a sitcom undertitle save anybody from it being published into a tabloid?
Because we love him with our hearts.
Yeah.
Because
did you really?
He was a bang.
You love Matthew Perry?
Shut your mouth. He
What's
was
that?
a feel good story from drugs to
He
alcohol
completed. Yeah.
to rehab to being who he was
What's her
mentally
name?
and
What's her name with the
physically.
cranberries? She definitely wasn't.
They wanted him to be the shining star of he completed rehab better than Lindsay Lohan ever did. And
Lindsay Lohan is alive.
She
I mean,
is? I haven't
Wow.
seen her in years.
by what definition?
Why do you have to be so technical about everything?
uh, just stating a fact here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Also, used
I'm
to
just
have a
saying on their
little bit of a thing for Lindsay Lohan when I was a teenager. I think.
Oh, well.
I
You
mean
know,
that's
that quickly faded along with her career.
That was, yeah. Too soon.
I'm only
Too
crushing on
soon.
crushing on Lohan.
Oh,
Are you looking her
man.
up right now, Jay? Like, you know what? I haven't seen her in
No, I don't.
years.
No, she looks different. She looks like a clone.
Probably. I mean, they've been doing that for a while now. They've done a pretty good
Oh,
job with
AI.
John Fetterman. So,
Yeah, and Dolly the sheep back in the 90s.
right, back in the 90s. They've been doing this since
They've
the
been
90s,
cloning people since the 90s.
which is a good segue to the next article here. The second patient to receive a full pig heart dies. So we did this article.
pig valve.
No, this is a full heart.
Full heart?
Yeah, this isn't a pig valve.
Oh man.
We did the article about how they genetically engineered the pigs to not have the sugar protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they wouldn't so your body wouldn't reject it automatically. So they've now put 2 pig hearts into 2 different patients in Maryland, and this is the second one to die of it.
What? How long did they live?
That was the
after-
problem. It was in Maryland.
Months, right?
It was in Maryland.
Oh,
So yeah, the
Was it
first
John
one
Hopkins?
was 2 months, and then this one was 6 weeks.
They're getting better.
Wow.
That's
No, they're
almost a
getting
month
worse.
and a
This
half.
is the second one. This is 2 weeks less than the first one.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
But this was a whole heart this time.
Well, both of them have been full hearts.
Oh,
But they're both gene edited pigs. But they're also both candidates that could not get a human heart because they were in such bad shape. So like the first guy, he was in real bad shape, and they said because of his condition, he probably died. That's why he died. They also didn't realize that there was a pig virus in the pig heart that they put in the guy, so that may or may not have contributed to his
I bet it did.
to his death.
It's crazy.
The second guy, they say they definitely looked at it a lot more and made sure they vetted it through it better. It did not have the pig virus. And yeah, so this one, he was actually doing fairly well. And then all of a sudden the body rejected it and he died.
Holy.
So this week.
You would have thought they would have screened for that little pig virus.
Yeah, the first time you would have thought, yeah, they would have maybe made sure that the pig was completely healthy. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the University of Maryland Medical Center has been doing these. The first guy,
probably not do anymore.
they're basically, these guys, like the second guy said, like before he died, he got all of his doctors in the room and said how thankful he was for the extra 6 weeks, because otherwise he died on the table hours before he got the pig heart. So like he was already, like, he just got 6 more weeks of life. So in that aspect, I can see, okay, that's, he got some time to say goodbye to his family even more or better, or, with it.
But what
and
was he doing with those 6 weeks? I mean, was he just?
He was sitting in a hospital.
in
Yeah,
the hospital. We were
Wound
just,
wasn't even healed yet.
they were just
Right.
racking up a bill on him for 6 months, or I mean 6 weeks.
I'm sure that
I hate to sound that way, but like,
yeah, no,
I mean,
I'm sure because
what
of
was the quality of his life for the 6 weeks or the
the
2 months or whatever?
scientific ramifications of it. I'm sure that they paid his medical bills. Like they were like, here's what we can do.
Oh yeah.
That kind of thing for science.
Experimental.
Yeah, this is an experimental deal.
I think they
But at
actually
this,
did that.
I'm sure that happened because Maryland's been up on this. They've got a big grant for it and stuff like that for the research itself. I mean, he played some games with his wife. They said he was playing chess and cards with his wife and stuff. He was super super excited that because of the experimental side of things that he could be giving valuable data to science and to the next generations. So he was excited to be part of it. So whether he had great success or not, um, whatever.
I wonder if
But
he had to have bacon with his breakfast.
if you if you get a pig heart, do you then eat bacon? Do you eat sausage with your breakfast?
Does that make you?
That's what made it go
That's
bad.
probably why he rejected it, because the sugar's in the bacon or
Yeah.
the sausage
Yeah.
mixed with the heart, and there we went. I don't know
Had
that
some
that's
pulled
real
pork along
science,
the
but
way.
it seems good enough for us.
Had some
Pig heart.
had some pulled pork going, along the way.
some little bit of remorse.
Pork chop.
A little, the other white meat.
So here's my question: if you were facing this kind of situation,
Nope.
and this was a possibility, would you sign up for it? I mean, would you put yourself? I mean, they tell you here's the scenario. I saw Jay already shaking his head. Heck no.
He said nope as soon as you said if you were in the situation. He said nope.
You don't want the extra 6 weeks or the extra 2 months, or say they keep getting it better and better, and it's up to 6 months. You don't want it. You just want to go peacefully on your own heart.
Yeah, have some faith.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to that question we've been asking this whole time about this: is are we playing God, and are we just prolonging people's lives? Like you said, the quality of life. If he could have gotten out of the hospital bed and maybe had some sort of life, like you said, 6 months, a year, 2 years or something like that. But I mean, think about how long a pig actually lives. Like if they live naturally, I think they can live to 20 or 30. But again, if you could get 4 or 5 more years, maybe that would be something that you think about. At 50 years old, you've had a run and you get a human transplant and whatever. But in this way, you could,
Why are we not experimenting with higher life forms?
with higher life forms than us, or like getting
Get a pig.
from a higher, like trying to get maybe from monkeys.
Something that's
Monkeys are cute. You can't take
But-
hearts out of
do it.
monkeys.
Okay,
No,
I
they're.
was
I mean,
What
they're
what they've
like,
said is they've said that the pig organs and so forth are the closest match to a human organ.
size
So that's
wise
why
and
they've
everything.
gone down that
I mean,
rabbit hole.
that's
Yeah.
fine. But have we
You
tried
know.
giraffe?
Have we tried giraffe?
That's got to be an exact.
I think
match,
giraffe
right?
has like more than like. I
What you
think
got in that can?
Ginger ale.
some hoity-toity.
Crisp, classic, and clean. Zero sugar.
What's actually in that can, Jay?
Hey Abe, would you be a recipient of a pig heart?
Yeah, I mean, throwing all this out there
That's
yourself.
that's a strong maybe not.
Oh, so you judged. Wait a minute here. Whoa. I felt very judged when you were asking us.
I think you're supposed to say you're a victim.
No, it's not. No,
I
I
feel
just,
like
I
a
just like to
victim.
play the devil's advocate. Aaron will attest to that. All the debates and stuff that we used to have, like I was always
Oh,
the one
yeah.
who was like, well, but and it wasn't anything that I would ever, probably, back or decide. But I always like to play the other side of it. No, I honestly, for my side of things, I'm ready when it happens. So I'm ready to go when it happens. So like, if I'm called to wave goodbye and it's my time to go, then it's my time to go. I don't even know if I want to be like over 80 because I feel like once everything kind of starts going downhill, like sign me out.
It's harder to do something that could do you in once you get to 80. Is that
Right.
what you're
I've already
saying?
experienced not being able to wipe my own butt. Like sign me out.
Yeah, having some hot nurse wipe your butt.
Oh, well, you didn't put that.
I mean, it was my fiance,
Hey,
but
I mean, hey, well, there you go. But we don't all get a hot nurse. I mean, there are a lot of male nurses these days.
Her name is not Harold. It's Haley. Okay.
They call me Stacy.
Oh,
Yeah, so
there are a lot of.
I would say it's a no.
Yeah.
It's a strong no.
Yeah, I'm just okay with dying. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't have a death wish. I'm just saying I'm okay with my time. So.
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm at. When it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I don't need to stretch it out with, an extra 6 months or 6 weeks or whatever of a heart, a pig heart.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about like with the kidney situation with like our cousin Adrian and stuff that that would be something a little different if if you could get a solid quality of life and stuff like that, or it was
Right.
you were 18 years old, then I'm sure you would you would think a little differently about your life and that kind of thing. But
Right.
yeah, at this juncture and stuff like that, if it was 50 or 60,
I mean, yeah, I remember being a kid, a teenager, and being afraid to die.
right.
And then there was a certain point in my life, and I'm only 30 something now, but
Such a young buck.
I could just say if it's my time, okay, go.
But I wanna the thing you said there that kind of caught me is even in your 30s. First off, there's two things here that kind of made my mind perk up or whatever about it. Was one, an organ transplant from another human is totally different.
Right.
It's taking a match and putting a match into another human. You know what I mean? Where this is completely experimental, something from another, another animal, another being, whatever you want to, call it, however you want to describe it. It's a little less proven. I mean, it's still one of those things that is I don't know what you call it, like a little more taboo in the sense that it's like you're taking an animal heart and putting it in you, not another human heart and putting it in
for sure. I see the difference there. But my thing is if I'm unconscious, then I can't make that decision. So if I come back and you guys have decided for me that he's getting a new set of lungs or he's getting whatever, some new livers or a couple new kneecaps or something.
More than one liver now.
Yeah.
Are we eating it or is this
You know what I mean? Then,
tasty with some onions?
then I guess I wake up and I have a second chance at life. But other than that,
Hey, now that this video is coming out, we're definitely we're pulling the plug about 30 seconds after you close your eyes.
that's fine with me. I got everything set up, all I need. So.
Yeah, I'm not down for the experimental stuff like that. I hate to say it, but I don't want to live bad enough to have. And maybe it's just I feel like I've already cheated death a couple times in my life. But
I mean, I thought you were going for the Jax body type.
Yeah. Get him
some Mortal Kombat style. Get some bionic legs.
Oh yeah, have all these
get those bionic arms. Get that eyeball that shoots lasers.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get this done.
when it's
Like,
when it's my time
lose
to
some
go,
more
it's my
body
time to
parts
go. You
already.
know.
Lose some more body parts already.
Yeah, I'm already working on that leg. So might as well just go ahead and lose an
Which
arm now, right?
if I saw an article this last week about China is trying out bionic armor.
Yeah.
So they're like, it's got hydraulics in the armor so that you can actually like run faster, jump higher. Your arms are stronger to be able to do things. You can carry a 50 cal and just da 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 da, and things like that. So I mean, I'm thinking we're not very far off of this.
You think it's like carbon fiber type stuff, or
I think that's what they're using is like a
Kevlar or
sturdy
something.
level of
polymer
like
carbon
a
fiber metal.
Kevlar type deal. Yeah.
Go gadget.
China.
Yeah, that's it. From China. It's going to be great. Now the Japanese version is going to be better because it's not going to be knockoff.
Because they have a
But
system.
no, because it's everything from China is a knockoff. So it's going to be the
the
Japanese
stuff that
one's going to be better.
they
The US,
patent and design
the,
themselves.
the US version. Now the Korean, that's going to be terrible trash.
Yeah,
But
Taiwanese.
we now no longer have any followers in Korea, China, or Japan.
I'm holding out for
But
the Bangladesh version.
the Bangladeshian version, yes, I do think that'll be great. That'll be made of like leather, be sewn together by kids.
For sure.
There won't
high
be
quality
any
stuff.
hydraulics. The hydraulics will actually be like elastic bands.
Yeah.
It'll
That's what I can
do.
afford.
It'll do.
I don't make that Honda money.
I still don't. I think the bionic suit thing, like I think there's some promise in that. Just from my own experience now with like my situation, I think there's some.
Yeah.
I think there's some promise in that in certain situations. Now, obviously, you're always going to take a invention like that and turn it to like a military focus, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I think
Definitely,
from
you're going
a
to turn it into the
standpoint of
worst
like
case
an
scenario.
EMT, I think it does some great things for some people that might not have full usage of an arm, or even people from a stroke standpoint too. Not being able to have
Sure.
a full usage and stuff of their arms or limbs or whatever, or a certain side. I think there's some good aspects of that, but unfortunately, it will be turned into a weapon of some sort, regardless. I just hope that they can make it affordable enough to take it
So
to
that
where
I
it
can
could
have
actually
that
benefit,
weapon also. Yeah, so
Right.
that I can own that weapon.
Sweet though, having bionic armor like that.
Oh yeah, I'd take it down to the paintball course and just like ripping people down.
You can just pick up trees.
That would be sweet. I've got some trees I need to knock down. Let's do this, guys.
Let's do this.
I'm gonna use this to put up my Christmas lights. Yeah.
I'm never falling off the roof again. I'm jumping.
Just throwing trunks of trees around at people.
It'll be the first time I ever did a chin up.
I used to do chin ups.
Yeah. So
Dang it.
I guess we should do like just. I mean, I guess we should cover. Israel is still blowing stuff up in Gaza. They have intensified their ground game. Egypt today opened its borders to, I think, 81 whole people, or parts of 81 people who are the worstly damaged people. I don't know that that's really a medical term, worstly damaged.
It can be,
but only 81. And they've kind of given them a little flack about not opening it up to a wider denomination of people. But at this point, the United Nations is kind of on, Jordan, Turkey, and Egypt to kind of, hey, let's take care of people. And Egypt's like, I saw what these people were chanting just a few weeks ago. So
I don't think Israel is going to stop or let up. So I think,
and should they really let up? Like, this is, they're not fighting a people, they're fighting a mindset. Like, we talked about this is a religious uprising. It's just terroristic attacks from a terrorist group.
Yeah, they're not going to stop.
Clean your borders out. Like, just
I don't know why they haven't incinerated them by now.
This is similar to, like, if we had, the neo-Nazis or the Ku Klux Klan rise up and just bomb, whatever, Compton.
Right.
Well, we have all this old ammo we got to use. Might as well use
What-
it.
We
I
got a
said that
few of
at the
these Tommy
wrong
guns sitting
time. I
around,
said
Thompsons, and
that at the wrong time. It came out right when you were talking about the Ku Klux Klan.
but
I'm just saying
but that's
that's the thought
but
that I was thinking of when you were talking about like Israel and like just like let's clean out these borders, like
yeah, but that's what it would
we've
be
got
like
all this
is
saved
if
up in these crates.
they came through, they just smashed Compton to bits, and then they said, "Oh, come and get me." I mean, because that's what they did. They took 200 or 300 hostages, and then they took their own people in Gaza hostage. So they've got like 300 people, 3,000 people hostage. And then they said, come and get us.
Yeah.
So why would we be upset that Israel came and got them?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this is stupid.
Nah. It's and
Art of war.
Stick with the plan. Just stick with the plan.
so I heard that there's a news report out today that the U.S. has started an initiative to stop Islamic harassment and not anti-Semitic issues.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about the Palestinians that were chanting "death to Jews" or anything like that, because that is illegal. To be anti-Semitic, it as much as you have free speech, you don't have that free of speech.
Right.
You have absolute free speech, but you still have the consequences to pay when you say it.
Yeah.
Right. So you're, the fact that
I find that interesting that we've gotten to that
not
point.
quite free.
Well,
we can't completely think free.
Right.
Now, I find that interesting that it has gotten to that point from a U.S. society standpoint that you can't. There's no such thing as free speech anymore. There's still a certain and it's from a social standpoint, and which I totally agree to certain points, but at the same time, it's still not free speech. Whether you like it or you don't like it, it's still not free speech because now there's consequences about what you say, and it's totally tearing apart people's professional and other aspects of their lives, regardless of whether you agree with them or disagree with what they're saying. I don't know how I got down this.
I mean. But that's it. With hate speech, it's not just civil anymore,
right?
Because you could bring them up on hate speech charges, and they could spend a month in jail.
Where is there a hate speech law?
It's on the books. I mean, the guy is actually spending 8 years, and we have this article on our website.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's spending 8 years in prison now because of a meme about Hillary about text in to vote, and they called it a hate speech. Right. And they got him on a charge from a law from 1889 or 1898 about sedition based on voting fraud.
Right.
And so he's going to spend 8 years in prison.
And they might not necessarily put you in jail, but it's going to completely ruin your life if they can.
Right. I mean, they can go.
But regardless of what you say, it's to the point to where the average person can have something on their own personal social media, and it could be 10 people on their page, all the way up to 1,500 people on their page, or whatever. And you could post up the smallest thing, or you could even just share the smallest thing. And it totally, nope, you can no longer, work for whatever corporation, that finds it. You can no longer work for them, or you can, and now it's a black eye because there was some sort of hate speech involved. Even though hate speech is not technically illegal,
Well, I know that
it's completely, totally ruining people's professional lives, even though it's a personal matter. regardless of whether you agree with it or disagree with it. You know.
Yeah. Why? That's why you should be careful what you say because you have a professional life. If you have a professional life, but there was just
Right.
a story last week where so a Jewish Harvard students are suing a guy for putting on Twitter that he was going to kill them. Because of their religion, that he was going to kill them. He got very just descriptive. Nothing was ever, he didn't, I don't even think they took him down from Twitter for a while. They eventually did take him down. Nothing, he wasn't charged with anything, but the students are doing a civil lawsuit suing him for,
And well,
and
that's
he's
a
just
civil
making obvious
matter.
threats.
Right.
Yeah. But
Which
it's also a threat too. So they could technically get him on if they wanted to go down the legal aspect of it too. Is that he posed a verbal threat and so forth, or a printed threat for that matter. I mean, in that situation. So I mean, is in regards to actually making a threat. But just saying that you hate this or you hate that group of people or this or that or whatever, even though it's not anything towards, causing any kind of harm towards those, that certain group of people or this person or that, whatever, it's still ruining people's lives. Whether, like, again, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, it's ruining people's lives because now they can't have, and it's almost to the point to where you can't have an opposition of beliefs.
Yeah, you can't.
it's become a cultural issue, and it's
Right.
it's not 100% adjudicated issue yet. But I was just
Yeah.
reading on it.
I like that you put
Yeah.
that in there.
Well,
Yeah.
under the current First Amendment jurisprudence, hate speech can only be criminalized when it directly incites imminent criminal activity or consists of specific threats of violence targeted against a person or group.
Yeah.
So that last part consists of specific threats. Gas the Jews is a specific threat.
Yeah.
So it's hate speech and it can be criminalized.
Some people don't believe
Correct.
that.
I mean, at that point, it's a
So,
threat.
right. At
And
that point, it
there's
is
laws against
right.
threatening someone,
Whether it's yeah. I mean, a threat is
causing
assault in
harm.
the U.S. and really, which is again should be covered under free and not that I think that this should be really a criminalized charge. I think you should have free speech. I mean, but it should be free across the board. There shouldn't be like, oh, there's a hate speech falling. We could turn this into a hate crime because he said it was against gender or against disabilities or sexual orientation or whatever. No, he committed a crime. Let's get him for the crime he committed instead of like,
Right.
oh, there was hate involved in this. No,
Right.
who cares? Just like the dude, he was just a bad dude. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
Right.
But we've gotten so weird on things like now you can kill a dude, but I didn't mean to. Oh, okay, then we give you good behavior in 12 years or something like that, or
Probation
it's
and house
okay
arrest.
in New York. We're just gonna let you go because we don't have enough spaces in jail because we got so many drug dealers there. So we just let it go. And you didn't really mean to kill that guy. I mean, you stabbed him 47 times, but you didn't really mean to.
Obviously, you needed to live more than that person. So
it was survival of the fittest. He was definitely not fit.
Obviously, you needed their possessions more than
He's not
more
been
than they
working
needed
out.
their possessions.
And with all his blood all over the
Your theft
ground,
is justified.
yeah, we got there. So yeah, I just
Speaking of California.
Speaking of California.
Anywho, what's next?
The Rangers won the World Series.
Good.
Without
it's been a minute for them.
Chuck Norris.
And you don't know that Chuck Norris wasn't there winning the World Series with who?
His Walker Texas Rangers partner.
Trevette, yeah.
Trevette.
Yeah, that was
Trevette played third.
I thought he was just recent this week or something.
I'm
Did you say
pretty
he
sure
died?
Yeah, he died.
What?
Yeah.
Now there's a true American icon that's passed
For
away,
real.
and
He was in
Well,
Die
underrated.
Hard.
Underrated.
He was in Die
he
Hard.
lives in our hearts forever.
Not Die Hard.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Yeah, he was in one of them.
He was in the first Die Hard.
Was he a bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He died
he was the
last
villain.
year. He died last year in 2022 in November.
Do you
Well, let's take a
remember
look.
Trevette's?
I think we
legal
even
name?
mentioned it on the show.
What's his
You may not have
legal
been
name?
on that show.
It might have been. That's sad. I
It
liked
is
him.
sad.
He kept
Somebody
His
look
name-
up his actor.
his
actor
name was
his actual
Clarence.
name.
Clarence Gilliard. So
Is
just
that-
so
is
that
that
we
who it
know,
is?
like,
That's
yeah,
it.
Clarence Gilliard.
Junior
Huh.
or senior?
Neither.
The
Neither.
third?
He was in Die Hard and he was in Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Died at 66 last year in
That's
November.
sad.
So
Last
this is
year?
almost the 1 year, like just after he got through Thanksgiving.
That's really old.
66. Yeah.
66 is just 30
Yeah,
years
you're-
away from me. I mean, that's cool. I'm cool with 30 more years on this planet.
He was
Yeah.
also in Top Gun.
What else are we gonna do for 30 years?
He was in Top Gun.
Yeah, he was in Top Gun. Oh, I guess he was a junior. It just didn't say it in the Wikipedia page or the Los Angeles
I knew he was
Times.
a junior.
Good job, Los Angeles Times, for making me sound like an idiot.
Oh, fired.
Well, it's kind of like what is that? New York Times. That's or New York Post. it's highly unbelievable now.
Giraffes also have 11-kilogram hearts.
Is that big?
I'm not sure. I don't live in Europe.
I need
Not direct transplants to American hearts. I don't know.
Not direct transplants, American.
Where's
You
the-
don't think an American heart is 11 kilograms? Or an English heart? And a human heart, I mean?
What's 11 kilograms translate out to be? I'd have to do my calculator. Is it? I don't know. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole of metric.
I'm
I
not,
forgot I even said that giraffe comment.
So, a human heart weighs about 280 to 312 grams, not
Okay.
kilograms.
All right. What is that in pennyweights?
That's what I'm saying.
That's 16 times that.
Because I'll count to it.
Right.
It's about 20 times that, actually. Pennyweights.
I saw you in the parking lot earlier. That's where I know you.
Where? Come out here and fight me, big boy. Oh, man. So,
What are you
yeah,
guys drinking over there?
that's our headlines. I actually was in the state of Vermont 3 times where I was asked to come out into the parking lot and fight someone.
Well, at least it was honest.
Someone older than me that was upset about their collectibles not being valuable enough.
Did you oblige him?
No, that never looks good when you punch a 50-year-old in the face.
They've been holding on,
I was like 30.
He doesn't know.
So.
Doesn't know
holding
the
on to
story.
their
So
family
we're saying
heirloom
50
for
is like
for
elderly?
No,
30
I
plus
didn't
years
say it
or
was
40
elderly.
plus
I said he
years,
was
and he's
older
like,
than
no,
me.
this is actually
It never
priceless.
looks good though when you punch a guy that's balding in the middle and has hair.
Right. We were going to have some.
I'm right there with you. Just don't punch me in the
That's
face and you'll be all right.
There's only 2
Oh,
skinheads in this group. I mean, bald guys.
Wait.
All right, we're about to get canceled.
Honest Dave, you got an odds on this truth this week. So we can roll out of this.
What's that?
I said you got an odds on his truth this week.
It was a lot of bear news.
Bear news.
I think that'll be a good transition into your bear update.
Yeah,
But,
we do have
there's a lot of bear
the
news.
fat bear
Bears
update.
stealing, Halloween candy and all kinds of stuff.
This
bear
would be a good
coming
time to
back
get your arm
to
chopped
the same
off
home
or
like 6
bitten off by a
times.
bear while trick or treating.
Yeah, no, just a bear going up and like stealing candy out of a thing on the front porch because people are lazy nowadays. That happened in Florida, by the way.
Okay, Florida bear.
Really Florida man, but Florida bear.
koala?
Just stuff like that. I mean, a lot of the odds honest truth information was bear related this week.
Bear related. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to
What would
share
you
one
do if a bear
individual or?
was eating your candy on the front porch?
I would probably allow him to eat my candy. Depends on how big the bear was, honestly. I mean, if it was like a small black bear, then maybe I smash it with the door and tell it to get out of my candy because I'm hungry and want my candy more than him.
Yeah, like was it a happy?
Just give it a good punt. You know?
Do I have to assault the bear? Like, do I get in trouble for assaulting a bear, or will PETA let me off?
What's the bare minimum here?
Can I bear arms on this bear?
Well, you know, gotta do what you gotta do these days.
Man, this has been very good.
Bear's gonna be a bear.
Bears will bear.
Bears will bear.
You cannot go down there. He is a literal bear. He will literally rip your face off.
Rip it off.
He ain't nicey.
Yeah.
After
So
cutting
that
the
was
face
that
off
was
of
that.
Anakin,
There
I
was
did not
actually
think it
multiple
was very
Florida bears
realistic,
too.
but
I don't know if there's a
really
bear
was.
uprising going on in Florida.
Bear.
Yeah.
What kind of bears are in Florida?
Black bear.
Probably really
Is it just
small
black-
bears.
Is it just black bears?
Basically, what's come down from Georgia.
Racist, right?
Oh yeah, that is true. That is
that
right.
what you
Racist.
said? Now we have racist bears.
So are these like regionally artisanal black bears of Florida?
I hope they're
I don't
artisanal.
know. Somebody with the
What else are we
internet
doing?
currently is going to have to answer this one.
The native bears of Florida. Yeah, it's black bears. That's it.
What are you going to do?
Are these like African American bears? Is that how we're supposed to?
How long have they been in Florida?
I would
Are they
say
native to Florida?
Yeah, they're native. Yeah, it's the only
Black Panther is
species.
native to Florida.
Yeah,
they're probably in northern Florida though.
we have 4,050 bears, roughly, approximately, in Florida.
Seems pretty decent.
Yeah.
Alligators are not native to Florida.
Oh,
I thought it was crocodiles weren't native to.
From Florida.
I thought pythons were not native to Florida either.
Yeah, you're right. Pythons are not native to Florida. No, they really
throwing
are
it
not.
out there.
Just letting you know.
they came over because of the pirates, right?
They came over on the Mayflower.
right. There was actually
Yeah,
there
that
was an
definitely
odds
sounds
honest
right.
truth that I think it was in New Jersey, if I remember right. There was a kangaroo that got loose, or somebody thought a kangaroo got loose, and it turned out to be a red fox. It's like how how do
How
you?
did you make that distinction?
Somebody needs to Google
they
that.
don't look
Somebody needs
anything
to Google
alike.
that so I know exactly
like
what
nothing
state,
alike.
what it was. But it was somebody actually confused a kangaroo and a red fox. How that happens, I don't know.
For the pouch?
But what's that?
About the hopping. Was there too much hopping?
Yes.
Like, was it snowy? I mean,
I don't know. Jay, somebody Google that real quick. Somebody
I don't know how to Google.
misidentified a red fox and thought it was a kangaroo that was loose. Like called it in everything. I thought it was
reported.
funny enough.
Yeah, it's in Baltimore. Reported a kangaroo on the loose in Baltimore was a red fox. They even have a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look like a red fox?
Let me hit the button.
Or does it look like a kangaroo?
Let me hit the button.
Yeah, kangaroos should be introduced.
Yeah, there it is. There it is, right there. It does not look like a kangaroo. The dog in the back that just ran across here looks more like.
I don't understand how you think
that's
that's
the
a
guy's
kangaroo.
Chihuahua.
Oh
my goodness, that was loud. Okay, so yeah,
Didn't sound.
I'm gonna say that definitely was a kangaroo.
Turns out you're an idiot. It was a red fox.
I think it was a Chihuahua. I don't even think it was a red fox.
It looked like just a regular fox to me, but I don't
Right.
know. I'm not a fox expert either.
Well, like red foxes can be brown. But,
Jay, can a
we've
red
had some in
fox
our
be brown?
backyard from time to time. Some red
Let's
foxes.
ask our resident ginger here.
What's up?
Okay.
What was the question?
Uh,
I missed it. What was that?
Can a red fox be brown?
Yes. Part-time.
part-time. He's a part-time brown. Only if he marries a Latino.
Yeah.
La Chihuahua.
Yeah. And
Then their offspring could be brown.
they have to commit to less than 15 hours a week.
Right.
So,
It could be 30% Latino.
which is fine because we all love a good Latino.
So we did hit a little bit on Phoenix. There was a story out of Mesa that a high school teacher dressed as the devil and with his pitchfork went around pointing at students saying, "Hail Hitler," or "Hail Satan."
A teacher
A teacher.
was gainfully employed by the school.
Yeah, "Hail Satan," not Hitler.
Hitler
Sorry, I
and
missed that one up.
Satan.
Which one's first?
Two different things, possibly.
Hail Satan. It was Hail Satan. And basically finally came up to this Christian kid and yelled at him to say "Hail Satan."
Like denounce Jesus.
Yeah, like I listened to one guy talk about it a little bit, and I was like, probably don't understand the Bible in any way, shape, or form if you don't think this is something that could rile some feathers. But anyhow, guy basically told this fairly devout Christian kid to yell "Hail Satan" to him, and
he got poked with a stick,
and he was pointing his pitchfork at this kid's face, and
was he fired?
He's been
Did he
put
knock him
on.
out? I would have assaulted the guy and then laughed at
Yeah,
him.
I definitely would have like we were taught in school, like we had an atheist teacher, and if he started to teach on atheism, which he was a history teacher, so he shouldn't have American history, that for some reason it came up from time to time that we were supposed to walk out of his class, and if he tried to stop us, we were supposed to still walk out of his class with any means possible. Which was pretty much what I was told. And so I never had to walk out of his class, luckily. But yeah, if this was the case, I'm sure that if I had punched this guy and walked out of the class, that my mom would have been like, "Hey, he had it coming."
Yeah, for sure.
I had a boy.
Megatron,
right? Yeah.
I
I probably could have suplexed him and been like, my mom would have been like,
He might even headbutt you kind of.
You probably did too much there, but it's probably okay.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So
where's all the separation of church and state people that always yell whenever?
Well, it doesn't matter unless it's Jesus in your church, in your school. Yeah. If it's Jesus in your school, then you've got to separate it. If it's Satan in your school,
it's fine.
That's only part of the Jesus story. So that shouldn't be separated.
Yeah.
Not really church.
Yeah.
Church of Satan.
The separation of church and state protects the churches.
If it were Muhammad, it would be okay also.
Right. It's a synagogue. Definitely. It's not really church.
The separation of church and state is something that they've twisted over the years, because now they say that, we have to keep Christianity out of the government. But originally, the whole founding of the article of the separation of the church and state was to get the government out of the churches. Right. Because our back in the day, in the olden times, the government and the churches were the same thing.
Hey, you calm
just
down.
Just follow the program here, man.
With your information and history, okay?
Just continue. Like, I don't know about your recreational history. Not recreational. Recreational. Yes.
Recreational.
This is the 1619 project.
Hey, if you could just drink some water there, Jay.
If we could just
get you to love.
maybe explore a history that the country started in 1619 and not 1776.
Yeah.
We could actually see that it was not founded on religious freedom, and that it was founded on free slaves.
Free healthcare for
It
everyone.
was founded by Nicolas Cage. Have you not seen the movie?
I'm pretty sure Al Gore was there
Yeah, he was.
on the Mayflower.
Oh,
Okay, National Treasure. Look it up.
where did we where did we go wrong?
Where have we gone? Oh, yeah. Well,
This is the
I
perfect
mean,
50th, by the way.
this is a great 50th.
You
We haven't
cannot
really
ask
even
for any
we
better
haven't really
50th.
even had like a solid news article. We've just had our own commentary on life in
Yes.
general based on the
And
fact
a
that
few
we
good things.
the fact that we said something about a news article.
It counts.
Wait,
So
we talked about current events?
we're going to miss out this article on the slang terms from the 30s for again, because I mean we pretty much had that on the back burner for the last
Next
2-3
show.
months.
Next show.
It
let's
may
open
be,
with
yeah,
that.
it may be the
It's the
next show.
50th. Let's do
open
it.
with that for
What's
the
the
next
slang terms of the
I
30s?
really need a check.
We do want to hit the why the snooze button may be beneficial to your life.
Hold on. Before you go down this route, okay? Is this scientifically backed? Because
It's on NBC
okay.
News, so it's definitely yes. It's Swedish people. The Swedish people have been asked to
Yeah,
spend
but there's
several
been so many
nights in a
studies about
lab,
this before.
in a sleep lab. This is scientific.
What changes it from before? Because it was totally not supported by any other sleep lab before
This sleep
that
lab says
you could
if you're
honestly get back to
concerned,
a deep sleep within 10 to 15 minutes, which is more than enough for most people to snooze, right? The
yes.
average snooze on a phone or anything now is what, 9 minutes?
When did you get your degree on sleep studies?
Listen, I used to hit my snooze quite a bit, okay?
So this
But I've read
says
multiple articles about you being able to get back to a deep sleep and it being something worthwhile and quality to your sleep. Otherwise, you actually wake up more tired after hitting the snooze. Instead of taking that time to wake up, you're allowing or you're making your body start to shut back down in that
Nope.
9 to 10 minutes or whatever your snooze is set to.
That is not what this says. It says if you're concerned that by hitting the
Bullcrap, I'm
snooze
leaving.
button multiple times in the morning, you could be hurting your sleep because you're worried about it. You're concerned about it. You can sleep easily for most people. Snoozing has no impact on sleep quality. A new study suggests that what's more, for some, hitting the button multiple times over 30 minutes may spark alertness more quickly than sleeping through without a break.
See, that's the opposite argument. That's the opposite argument is you're already
Your brain
awake.
function doesn't even. Oh my!
So now you're slowly waking up.
Your
like,
neocortex doesn't even wake up for the first.
you're not
minutes.
actually getting quality more a quality sleep. Now you're slowly waking up over 30 minutes of I'm gonna rest. I'm awake. Snooze again.
Does
You know
it
what I
change
mean?
anything that the sleep study author's name is Tina?
Yeah, that changes everything.
That's I better gravy's lumpy.
She is an associate professor of psychology at Stockholm University in Sweden.
In Sweden?
Only Aaron
Where they have free
understands
healthcare?
that statement.
Yes, where they have free healthcare, so they can do this for free.
I'm triggered.
Yes, so for those who usually snooze, it might even be helpful with your waking process.
How's their military?
But it's
They
with the
are
waking
neutral.
process. It doesn't give you. It doesn't. So it doesn't benefit your sleep. It only benefits your waking process. That's what they're saying. So it's literally the opposite side of the spectrum.
Yes. They're basically saying that it has no impact to your sleep quality, whether you snooze or not, but it could help you with your waking process.
Well, that's
Which
just like
if
saying you wake up 30 minutes beforehand and you sit there and slowly wake up like any other human known on earth. It's like
yeah.
it's really just a devil's advocate argument to this whole thing.
Really
I don't know why
really
I'm so against this.
it's honestly it's the argument to any study. Because you can do a study and say, "Oh, well, 43% of people want Joe Biden to run for president again." Well, that also means that 57% of people say he shouldn't. I mean that's really like if you really go into like my wife was into is into the like kind of, or did a few studies with psychology and things like that. And if you look at the scientific process, it's barely scientific for one. You have a control. That control can be whatever you want it to be, and you take the data from the control and you put it up against the outliers which you take off, and then you use the data in whatever way supports your thesis. Not you don't you create a hypothesis and then you support it with your science. It's not that we go into this and say whatever will be, and we figure out what's the most plausible thesis based on the science. We go in with a thesis or a thought of what it should be, and then we support our that's I mean, science was never that back in the day. I mean, it was literally we didn't, we had a problem and we fixed the problem. We didn't create a problem and then support our problem with something that is insanely stupid. Like, let's hit the snooze button every 5 minutes for 30 minutes and say, "Oh yeah, I woke up more calmly." And yeah, if you wake up 30 minutes later and you're jolted out of bed by an alarm, you're gonna say, "Yeah, I didn't wake up very calmly or smoothly," as
Well, it's like
opposed to the
waking up
fact
late
that
for work, right? Or
right,
waking up late for
I
anything, right?
like I called
Like
off days
you
at
wake
work
up late, you're all of a
that
sudden
I
you're
woke up
panicked.
late.
You're not,
I was just like, no, I'm not even doing this today. I'm not even putting on my shorts and going. I'm gonna go sleep another hour and wake up normally. You know,
right.
luckily I'm not a
I
surgeon,
mean, I,
so
I feel like it's like designing a specific experiment for, or designing an experiment to base your theory, or
that's what
to
it is.
back your theory is the better way to say
That
it.
that
Yeah,
is how they do it these days. That's how
Oh, of
science is
course.
done.
yeah, that's been done. That's how they've been doing science for over 100 years.
So let me ask you this, because I feel like there's two different types of people in this world, and
Me too.
I feel like I
There
feel
we go.
like there's catnappers, which can take like a 10-15 minute nap and be like energized and ready for the day, and then there's a, like, I don't know what you'd even call it, going to bed. Somebody that's got a nap for like an hour or whatever or more. Like, what type of person are you?
I need my 8 hours.
Yeah,
I'm
but if you were
definitely
to lay
like
down for a nap, would it be a
I don't.
10,
I can't
15
do
minute
that.
nap, or would it be an hour?
even like if I nap, like it's if I were to take a nap for an hour or so, I'd still wake up terrible. Like I just would feel bad. Like if I take a 15-minute nap, like I'm okay, but I don't feel any better. Like it's not like I'm energized and ready to go. Like it's just like most likely I just fell asleep in a chair somewhere.
I can count on one hand how many times I've woken up from a nap and I've actually felt good, refreshed,
Right.
rejuvenated, energized, ready to go. Less than five in my 30 some odd years of being here.
I feel so bad for you guys. All right, you?
Oh, I need at least 8 hours.
Yeah, well, we're talking about naps. We're not talking about sleeping.
I was
We're talking
trying to
about
stay
naps.
awake while you were talking.
He's like, I
He's an
actually
old
fell
man now.
asleep.
Just about. Well, yeah, I just
I feel like I'm the only person here that could probably sleep 10 minutes, literally 10, 15 minutes, and wake up and be like, all right, let's go.
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean, I have done the short naps and things of that nature, but I never feel like let's do this
Yeah.
any better, like unless it's like, ooh, let's do this, and then I like realize I am not excited to be here or be doing this.
So we got a
Yeah.
3/4 vote here that you guys need a full 8 hours and laying down to go to sleep.
I mean, I've proven over the last
I'm
year
one
and a
of those
half
that
that I
like
don't
just
need
needs a
a
cat
full
nap.
8 hours because having a 1-year-old,
Oh, that changes you.
yeah. I mean, I was up last night at 1 and 4, and then we were up for the day at 7. So,
Oh. See, I've never been. Aaron, Chef Aaron can attest to this. I've never been one of those that like could sleep late or like has to have like 10 hours or anything like that. Like I'm just always been one of those people that's I fall asleep quick, probably while you're still talking to me, and
always.
and I could sleep for 10 minutes and wake up and be ready to go. I used to do that quite a bit actually after work because I would get up at like 4:30 for work and stuff, and I'd get back to the hotel or whatever because obviously I travel for work. But I get back and I'd sleep for 10 minutes, take a quick 10-15 minute nap. If I slept any longer than that, I'd feel like crap. But like a 10-15 minute nap, ready to go.
Did you set an alarm for that 15-minute nap?
Usually, but
Did you snooze
I
it?
would wake up before. I would wake up before that. Yeah. I would set it for like 15-20 minutes, and I'd still wake up before the alarm.
He has an over.
That means you didn't wake up. You didn't even take a nap. You just closed your eyes. You thought about it. You turned your brain off for a second. You're like, you're the one person in the world that just can turn the brain off, and then you're back. And
Maybe I was hypnotized at a young age or something because I could literally fall asleep like that.
You mean it actually worked?
I don't know. It's just weird.
That's
I could
a
literally
good
close
one,
my eyes,
though.
and I think it's just because I'm like always going typically. So when I like finally lay down, I'm like.
Do you think maybe you have a thyroid issue or?
No, I've been tested recently a lot.
Narcolepsy.
How are your mag levels?
When did you get a degree in this?
Yeah. Yeah, come on.
Oh,
come out
man.
from behind that mic there, Jay.
Oh, hi.
So changing gears, we're gonna finish off the podcast with the Fat Bear update. Fat Bear update. Toot, toot, toot. All right, so Fat Bear Week is over. It ended on the 10th, which we didn't get to last week because we were not in studio. And we did a thing on the UN. If you missed it, you missed it. Go back and look at it. So the Fat Bear challenge, the winning bear was I didn't go to the right one that actually had the final bear. It was 219, I think was the actual Fat Bear, but let's get there.
Nice.
Yeah, Fat Bear Week.
Here you go. Get to the right tab.
Yeah, I gotta get what it means.
Come on, Jeff.
Here's the bracket. Nope, it still doesn't have the bracket. Why did they mess the bracket up? I saw the ending bracket.
The Bears of Fat Bear Week. The fattest
You are
bears.
exiting the National Park Service website.
Yeah, okay, there it is. I'm in the voting. And this is poll. Yep, this is the poll.
There it is.
128. The champion this year is 128. So if you had 128 on your bingo card, or you had voted in Vegas on 128, you win.
Now, are these all types of bears or just like grizzlies?
These are the brown bears in Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have names, Jay.
Some of them do. They're all numbered, but then some of them had names. Yeah, like there's one was named like 164 named
128's
Buckington.
name is Grazer.
Grazer, yeah. 120,
That's
128. Yep, that was it. Grazer.
Grazing's what's doodle
Yep.
do. That'll do it.
So
Grazer. That's kind of like
There was a-
laser, but Grazer.
there was one named Chunk, one named Holly.
Yeah.
You know, a few of them don't have names, but
A couple of
yep,
them named Finals.
yep. Grazer and Chunk went to the finals. Grazer comes out victorious.
I like that.
You know,
One
I'm
bear.
glad Grazer is the winner. So I'm more
Wait.
like a Grazer.
What do you think?
You know?
Chunk is not a you know,
It's not a
name that,
heavyweight name. It's
not-
just yeah. I feel like Grazer is similar to me. You know, you get me around
901
Thanksgiving
doesn't even
meals and
have a
stuff. I'm
nickname.
like, I'm gonna graze on this. I'm gonna graze on that. You know,
So they're getting the
give me a
bears
little this, a little bit of that.
No, these are all votes. These are all how many votes? Totally, they had 1.3 million votes.
Are these including mail-in votes?
This is not
Early votes?
including the hanging chads or the mail-in votes.
All those automatically went
This
to
is, yeah,
Chunk.
these are only the votes that they could substantiate by
No
by
discrepancies.
known registered voters of the Fat Bears. So, if you get on our website, we do have a Fat Bear T-shirt. It's an angry fat bear. It's great. So get on there, and some of the proceeds will go to the Katmai National Preserve. We will send them a hefty check as you order thousands of T-shirts.
This is confirmed.
This is confirmed that we will do that. So order your 1,000 T-shirts today, and we will send them over thousands of dollars.
That's good.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
don't
good
forget
initiative.
to get the 50th T-shirt. It's pretty
Get
cool.
the 50th bomb T-shirt because our 50th episode's the bomb.
.com.
We don't have it registered,
Calm
so you
down
can't say
there,
.com. I'm sorry.
Let's not get
I'll
too
see
wild.
myself out.
See yourself out. All right. So Peyton, what'd you learn?
That that wasn't really their weight; it was votes.
It was votes. Yeah, they weren't 100,000 pounds, unfortunately. Maybe grams. Jay Boots.
Yeah, how are you?
Ding. What'd you learn?
I learned that polar bears are native to Florida.
Polar bears.
What?
Wait, what were we talking about? What were we talking about? Oh, crocodiles.
It's like actually,
are not Floridians.
All right. I like the polar bears. We're gonna leave it with that. Polar bears. Oh, Honest Abe, what'd you learn?
I learned that Jay Boots never leaves a dry eye in the laughter aspect of things. He still lives true to his teenage roots.
Thank you.
Polar bears are native to Florida. Learn that one.
Just learned that.
No, I don't know. This has been a great 50th. I think if anybody misses out on the 50th, they're missing out.
They've missed out. So
They're missing out.
just make
If
sure
they're missing out. They're missing out. I'm sure about that. I have a
I
degree in that
learned
one.
that we need the support. So get on our website at whyimangry.com and support us. And for all else, there we go. Make sure that you follow, liking, and sharing us on the Why I'm Angry podcast. Remember to follow, like, and share the Why I'm Angry podcast across all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcasts. The Why I'm Angry podcast ends now.